you just go ahead and start playing.
This little lady was born a runner, chasing down that morning sun. About the time you came along, I was fixing to get gone. Sorry it's gotta be this way, maybe I'll come back one day. This ain't my first rodeo, we'll have a good running when it's time to go. I'll leave you in a cloud of dust, driving off in my pickup truck. Darling, don't try to tie me down, won't be long, I'm leaving town. I break hearts, baby, don't you know this ain't my first rodeo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't mean to lead you on. Sometimes I let things go too long. Big dreams can leave my heart a mess. Too late for me to change, I guess. Sorry it's gotta be this way, maybe I'll come back one day. This ain't my first rodeo, we'll have a good running when it's time to go. I'll leave you in a cloud of dust, driving off in my pickup truck. Darling, don't try to tie me down, won't be long, I'm leaving town. I break hearts, baby, don't you know this ain't my first rodeo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Sorry it's gotta be this way, maybe I'll come back someday. Maybe. This ain't my first rodeo, we'll have a good running when it's time to go. I'll leave you in a cloud of dust, driving off in my pickup truck. Darling, don't try to tie me down, won't be long, I'm leaving town. I break hearts, baby, don't you know this ain't my first rodeo. I break hearts, baby, don't you know this ain't my first rodeo. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Olivia Harms. Welcome to Musical Miles Podcast. I'm your host, Byron Duffin, here with this beautiful young lady. This is our second go-around. We got to sit down in Las Vegas, Nevada a year ago. Not last year, but the year before, 2024, and had our first visit.
I know.
And a lot's happened since then.
So much has happened. Yeah, it's so good to be back with you, Byron. Like, that's just,
oh, it's
so
always fun to sit down with you. You're just such a cutie, and you've got such a beautiful personality, and we love sitting down and talking to you. You just played us a song on this close guitar. What'd you think?
Oh my gosh, this is awesome. I love this, and this sounds like it's perfect for travel too.
It's really
it's
cool.
Like, so you can. What am I trying to say? Compact.
Yes, it's very compact. 4 bolts. You leave it strung.
And look at it. It's so pretty.
It is pretty.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. And you know the cool thing is once you get it in tune, once you and you leave it in, you leave it together, it stays in tune because it doesn't change. It doesn't change with the weather. You know, we're in Arizona at the Art of the Cowgirl, and it's hotter than the hubs of hell. Inside this tent, it's a little warm. Sorry.
It's a little tropical.
It's a little tropical. There you go. That's a better, nicer. You're a nice girl.
It's a bit tropical.
Yeah, it's a bit tropical.
We got some neck sweat for sure.
Yes, yeah. Well, my locks are almost as long as yours, so.
And we did curls today.
No, and my curls are natural. So.
Oh, well, I wish I was so lucky.
Yeah, but you are here for. Now you've been here before with your mom and performed with your mother.
Yeah, so Art of the Cowgirl is something that's really near and dear to my heart because I've been coming here, I think maybe after the first year it started. So I think I've been attending since 2017 or 2018.
Wow.
And my mom and I started doing a creative writers clinic.
Okay.
So we would do, songwriting, or people were interested in journaling or poetry, all of the realms of writing. And we would teach a workshop, and we had students, and they'd come, and we'd kind of try to write a song. And so we had a wonderful time with that for probably the last 5 or 6 years. And then, of course, it's so sad we lost the founder, Tammy Pate, and they've sold to Rancho Rio here, and this is a great new facility and venue. So it's really fun to see it back in action because last year I was supposed to be here.
Right.
But then I had to cancel. And
because I'm guessing it was because of the road.
It was, yeah.
I figured that's what happened to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a pretty good reason to cancel, though.
Well, it was. I was a little disappointed because we met in December in Vegas and knew you were going to be here. And so when I got here, I'm like, Joni, where's Olivia? Oh, she had something come up, and she was kind of really secretive about it. And then we didn't find out about it. When were you able to release the news?
Yeah, in June.
June, yeah. I was going to say.
We had to keep a really tight lid on the beans.
Yeah.
Like super tight. I mean, they put you in some ironclad NDAs and all those fun things. And so it was funny because during this time, people that know me know that Art of the Cowgirl is one of my favorite events.
Sure.
So when I wasn't here, that was a pretty dead giveaway. And then when they looked at my schedule and saw that March and that whole month was empty, and they know I love to work and I love my job, and so I had people saying, "Are you okay?
Right,
everything all right?" And I'm just taking some downtime. I'm on a retreat.
So that happened in January. You couldn't tell until June. When did you actually film it?
We were filming right now, a year ago. So I think exactly a year ago, we were flying into Fort Worth and having our media day, taking all the press. And then March 2nd was our very first show in Fort Worth. That was the first episode that you guys saw. So it was filmed from March to the beginning of April. So really relatively a short period of time.
Right.
But we had to cancel everything because they said, well, if you want to be on the show, you don't know how long you're going to be on, and we need your availability to be totally clear.
Well, it's funny because I got to meet you and interview you in Vegas. I also interviewed Billy Joe in Vegas during NFR. And we had met her in Texas at Green Hall.
Yeah.
She opened for Jack Ingram, and we met her there, and she was such a sweetie. And we wanted to interview her there, but we just didn't have time. She didn't have time, and we were running out of time.
Yeah.
And so and then I accidentally saw that she was going to be in Vegas, and I reached out, and she said, "Oh, sure." So anyway, it worked out really cool. And so then in the fall, in October of this year, they had the Cowgirls at the Cowboy in Jackson Hole, Wyoming at the $1 Million Cowboy Bar. So Mae Estes and Jenny Tolman were playing, and of course Ella Langley was the headliner. We couldn't get tickets to Ella. She sold out in about 30 seconds.
I bet.
We got tickets to Mae and Jenny, and so I went over, and I had reached out to both of them for interviews. Didn't get any kind of a response. And then, of course, you know me, I'm not afraid to ask and ask again and ask again. So I met them both in person and asked, and then Mae happened to be playing at the Rio Roundup in Las Vegas, which is where I did my interviews this year.
Yeah.
So I got to interview Mae, but she wasn't on the road, but she's very tight with all of them.
She is. So, we're close in that circle with her. It was fun while we were on the road to see just, the intermixing that we had and the network. I was really glad that they chose 12 country musicians that have been grinding and working. And, we've all been at it a while. I'm not, flattering myself and calling myself a pro, but I have been doing it for quite a few years. And
your whole life.
I'm not just,
Since you were 2 days old.
Yeah, since 2 days old. I got a pretty good start on it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, your mom is such a beautiful, talented artist, and started you young, right? 2 days old, on stage, because she didn't want to cancel an event. So
I know.
So she's a trooper and tough.
She
and I got
is.
to meet your dad too.
Did
this
you?
year.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Jeff's
Yes.
a great guy. We had a great conversation.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And I'm trying to help him find a place here in Arizona so you can come just hang your hat here part way.
Yeah, there you go.
know.
See, like a little stop. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
you got to stop here. And then you got to stop in Idaho now at my place.
know,
and so
I'm
you're
coming.
always welcome.
I
there.
know the band and
So-
I we get around. That's why we're the road runners, you know.
There, I love
because
that.
that's literally all we do is just run down the road.
Well, we can relate because Miss Shanda and I put 50,000 miles on last year,
Wow.
chasing live music and interviews for the podcast. So.
Yeah, it's incredible though. I mean, you know what a life, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's a lot of windshield time, but man, when you get to have the opportunities, the conversations, it's all worth it.
How's your rancher husband handle your absentee ranching?
He does pretty good.
Yeah.
He's a super busy man himself, and so it's kind of a good match. He's got the ranch. He has a welding fabrication company that builds flatbeds and bumpers.
Oh, okay.
And then he also manages like another farm equipment welding shop, and they make a lot of stuff for walnuts and olives and all of that harvest in Northern California. So he's busy. I think he's almost as busy as I am.
You know, I have a lot of background in that industry too, so I need to come over there. We need to make a trip over and check out your place and come see it and meet your. Well, I got to meet your husband in Vegas.
You did, yeah.
And but I didn't realize he was in the manufacturing business and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. You can come hang out with us anytime. See the cows, meet the dogs, the whole shebang.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of cool country that we haven't got to see yet, and that's part of it. Now you're close to Red Bluff.
We are.
Yeah,
we are.
Now I've been to Red Bluff, and I've been to the Bull and Gilding Sale, and their event. They had a cow horse deal there.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. So.
It's not a bad part of California. I never thought I'd live there. You know, growing up in Oregon, and then still being a Texan. I still own a house in Texas. I try to spend as much time there as I can. That was my plan, was to be a Texan, and then God, you know, throws in a curveball, and He says, "No, you've got a California cowboy." And so, it's grown on me a lot, and I feel like it's been pretty well redeemed that we're in the cowboy part of California for sure.
Where's your place in Texas again? You're up by Fort Worth, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, it's just outside of Granbury.
Okay, that's a great area.
It
Weatherford,
is.
Granbury.
I fell in love with it.
Yeah, big horse country. A lot of because I used to ride cutting horses, so I know a lot of those cutters in that area and stuff. So fun area.
It is.
And the music scene in Texas is just
fabulous.
So cool.
It's so good. I mean, it was definitely hard to leave, so I must love the guy, I guess. Because the Western world and Fort Worth in general, and the music, it was tough to leave.
Nashville's pretty cool too. We've had the opportunity since we saw you last. We got to go to Nashville and spend some time and we've interviewed a bunch of Nashville songwriters, so that's been really educational. We've learned a lot about the music business. We still only know that much, but we like to share the stories. So let's hear a little bit more about The Road.
Absolutely.
So how did that come about in the first place? They reach out to you, or did you apply, or how'd that work?
So they reached out to me, and it's kind of a fun story because I got to play, speaking of Fort Worth, I was asked to play a house concert for a sweet lady that I met through the Cowgirl Hall of Fame, because obviously I love cowgirls. I'm trying to be involved with all things cowgirl. And so I played there, and she found me. We chatted a while, and she said, well, I'm having a house concert for my husband's birthday, and it's going to be like 4 couples, 8 or 10 people, and I'd really like to have you just come strum in our living room, sing some songs. I said, okay, that sounds great. So the day came, and then she said, well, we might have some more higher profile folks here, you know, just, are you good? And I said, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to fangirl or freak out or anything. I'll be professional. And so in walks Nick and Taylor Sheridan, which is wild. Wild. You know, I'm like, okay, great, I'll sing my songs. And I mean, the coach of TCU was there, Gary Patterson. There was like some really cool people there. But at the end of the day, I was hired to play music, and I never jumped to conclusion that just because Taylor Sheridan heard me play, he's going to use me. That's far-fetched for a musician.
Were you aware of the music show coming?
No.
I'd not even heard of it.
I had not
heard a sniff of it.
No, I had not heard about it at all. I thought, you know, wow, how cool would that be if he wanted me to be like an extra on a show. But still, if you've been in the music business long enough, you know, just because you meet somebody or in the presence of someone, it doesn't really mean anything is going to happen. You can chalk it up to a cool opportunity, but that's kind of the end. And so I mean, a couple months went by, and you know, then I think it was 9 or 10 months after I'd done this house concert, and she calls me, and she kind of, you know, we BS'd a while, and then she got to the point and said, well, Taylor Sheridan wanted to know if he could have your phone number. Is it okay if I send it to him? And I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can definitely send him my phone number. So she did, and then a few minutes later he called me, and I still thought some mean friend of mine is pranking me, like this can't be real. But he's on the other side saying, look, I'm putting together a show with Blake Shelton, and it's going to be called The Road, and we're going to take some musicians on tour. He didn't say how many. He didn't say anything about Keith Urban yet, Gretchen Wilson yet, none of that.
Oh, really?
It was so broad. Just basically, I'm putting together a music show, and I want to know if you're interested. And I said, oh, absolutely. So, I mean, we got the ball rolling. That same day, I did an interview with the casting director, and then it was the holidays, so then they went on break and said, stew on that for 3-4 weeks, you know? You're just sitting there saying, what happened? What a whirlwind.
Right.
Yeah, and then the new year came, and end of January, they took a bunch of us to Burbank, and we did executive callbacks and interviewed in front of Blake and Taylor and the whole CBS crew. And then a few days after that, they chose who they were taking to the show.
How many did they interview or bring to that event?
Yeah, they definitely had more than 12.
Okay.
I think it was around 27.
Oh, wow.
That were in Burbank. And so, I mean, I remember waking up and seeing the list in my email that morning that my flight was to Burbank. And I remember telling my husband, looking at the list, like, I believe in myself, but I know Brittany Kellogg, I know Adam Sanders, like, I know Cody Hibbert, I know Billy Joe. And I said, there's no way they're going to choose me. Like, there's just no way. I do believe in myself, but these guys are so good that they're, you know. And he said, he gives me the good old husband talk, and he said, you gotta believe in yourself. And I mean, what an opportunity. I didn't sleep the whole time I was there. I was just wound up tighter than a top. But
well, you knew what that did for Lainey's career to be on Yellowstone.
Absolutely.
You know, she got introduced to the world on Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Now, not that she hadn't been around a long time, because she put in her time, right?
Yeah.
We all know, you know, Nashville's a 10-year town, and she was well up to 10 years. But that being said, that only helped.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely. I think, you know, he has a plan, and when he kind of can fit you into his plan and make it work, he's successful for a reason.
Well, and he's brought a lot of Texas country music and red dirt music to the general population. Who, I mean, you know, Turnpike Troubadours are huge because of him. There's just a lot of music that's got out there because of Taylor.
Absolutely.
So hats off to Taylor. He's also done an amazing thing for the Western industry.
For sure.
And for Western fashion. And
for sure. Agriculture, that's one of my favorite things to see thriving is, you know, a little bit more awareness of what it's like to be a cattle rancher or an agriculturalist. Your food just doesn't show up at the grocery store. There's a lot that goes in behind the scenes, you know, and the things that we fight just to keep our properties running, whether it's cattle, whether it's, you know, grass seed, lettuce, orchards. There's a lot that goes in. Just
the political hoops we have to jump through to defend our rights as landowners and
to keep producing,
and to be able to keep producing. Yeah, I was born and raised on a farm in Idaho, and been in the ag industry my entire life, even though I'm not currently, but I still have deep roots in ag, right?
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, he's done some wonderful things, really brought awareness that way. And then, like you said, musically and even just like fashion. You see hats and boots popping up all over the place now, which is so fun.
Well, even more so, I think in the last 5 to 6 years since Yellowstone, there's a lot more hats showing up in Nashville.
There sure is.
Showing up on the stages.
There sure is.
Yeah, than used to, because I think there was some stigmatism with being a cowboy, a bunch of hillbilly hicks.
And I'll tell you one of the funniest things. You know, I had no idea what to expect from being on national TV. That's not something you can really get a crash course in. And so I thought, well, this will just be interesting to see if it blows up or, you know, whatever. And thankfully, most people seem to like the music. I didn't have any too bad comments, but one gal, she commented on one of my posts or somewhere that said, "I wish you would lose the hat and quit being a Lainey Wilson wannabe." And I thought, I couldn't hold back. I thought, girl, I've been wearing a hat way longer than Lainey Wilson has been wearing a hat, or at least the same. There's a reason they call it a cowgirl hat, not a Lainey Wilson hat.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's interesting because I have a very dear friend who's in the hat business. And Atwood, I'm going to give a shout out to Atwood.
I love Brooks.
So Brooks is a very dear friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time, and he makes sure that if I'm not wearing an Atwood, I'm wearing a Spradley. So
Very
Spradley's
good.
is very high-end hat. And
Yeah.
So, but I used to, because I was in the rope business for 13 years, I used to wear a hat every day.
Yeah.
Almost every day. And our grandkids call me cowboy, and I love that. And I tell everybody I'm an Idaho farm boy that always wanted to be a cowboy.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I was able to, start to rodeo at a young age, and then I rode cutters for a living for 5 years, and we've lived all over and experienced the Western lifestyle. Even though I'm not nearly as handy as a lot of guys I know, right? But I'm way handier than most of those guys that just wear a cowboy hat.
That's right. Well,
so and I wish I could play a guitar better, but I'm working on it. I've been working on it for 2 years. So
I wish I.
Today's episode of Musical Miles Podcast is brought to you by Roper Apparel and Footwear. Whether you're chasing songs, loading gear, or standing front row at a live show, Roper blends Western tradition with modern comfort and style. Built tough, worn proud, and ready for every mile. Roper, wear the West.
At the same age,
Yeah.
and the rope won. Because I always thought that the girls like cowboys better than they like musicians, but I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I guess it depends on your girl.
You're kind of I'm sure.
I chose the cowboy.
You did.
I guess I figured I'm already a musician. Maybe I'll choose the cowboy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I love that story about the road and just your story in general, because you have such a unique story. Your mom is a very, very well recognized international Western music star. She's a Hall of Famer in the International Western Music Association, right?
Yeah.
She has graced the stages of some amazing places.
I know.
Right?
I have some really big boots to fill, so I'm trying. But
well, let me ask you based on that, because I know your mom played Carnegie Hall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so where's your favorite venue that you've played so far?
Favorite so far. It's not always about the size or the notoriety of a venue. For me, one of my favorites is a little place in Emigrant, Montana. It's called the Old Saloon.
Been there. Love it.
Yeah, I love the Old Saloon.
We love the Old Saloon.
I mean, the crowd is always great.
It's not
the view. It's fantastic. So put it on your bucket list if you haven't been.
If you have not been to Emigrant, Montana, the Old Saloon. Miss Shannon and I, when COVID lifted, we were so starved for live music that we got in the car and drove to Emigrant. Somebody was playing. We don't know who she was. To this day, we couldn't tell you who we went and saw.
Wow.
But guess what? We went to see live music.
I love it.
And that was where it was available.
Yeah.
And so we've been up there. We've seen, we saw Tanya Tucker there right after we started the podcast. Well, we hadn't even really done any interviews yet. But we saw Tanya there. We saw Reckless Kelly and Mickey and the Motorcars there. We've seen.
There's some great bands that play there.
They bring in a ton. They've had Charlie Crawford there. They've had, not Charlie Crawford, Charlie.
That's the Roper.
Yes, that is their Crockett. Why? Because I'm a team roper, right?
I know.
Immediately I go to Charlie Crawford.
We were saying cowboys and musicians.
Yeah. So, but no, they've had some wonderful artists. But Tanya Tucker put on a hell of a show.
She just
had her hip replaced 2 weeks before.
Did she really? Oh my gosh, what a champion.
Yeah, amazing.
Wow.
So Immigrant, Montana, I'd have to agree with you. It's a wonderful venue.
It's unique, and you look out and you see the mountains, and I mean, if you go, especially in the Montana summer, it's so pretty. It cools off
you're only
at
about
night.
30 miles from the main gate, one of the gates, the east gate of the Yellowstone National Park.
Right. And like 30-40 minutes from Bozeman. You know, it's an easy drive back there. It's
Livingston has a wonderful songwriter festival, in the fall.
Yeah.
And along with Red Lodge has one, and Whitefish.
Yeah,
So,
one day I'm hoping maybe I'll get on some of those. But, the Grand Ole Opry is one that I would love to play. I got to stand on the stage of the Ryman, not play it, but stand. And that was really special. I think any favorite venue is truly one where the fans are listening. Because I could play Billy Bob's, and if they didn't give a rip, it would not be my favorite show.
No,
it wouldn't be my favorite, memory. It's when they sit and listen and they take it in, or maybe they're singing it back to you, or you can tell you kind of got them in the palm of your hand. That's when I know I'm like, that's a favorite for me.
It's hard. It's hard to go to those events and be into the music and have somebody behind you talking.
Right.
And I tell the story a lot, but Django Walker told us that Jerry Jeff told him, he said, if you're going to do this, you do it because you love it, because you're going to have some guy back in the back talking louder than you're playing.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to be playing a song that you wrote, that you love. You're going to be playing Texas on My Mind, and they're going to think that you're singing a Pat Green song, and he is, but he wrote it.
Yep.
But you're going to get pissed and want to whip somebody, and you can't do that. So just do it because you love it. And we do this because we love it.
Absolutely. There's no better reason to do something. Because if it was because it was easy, or because of the glory, or you're making big money, we would have had to stop so long ago. It's way more difficult than the days are easy.
Yeah. We definitely don't do this for the money.
Yeah.
And we definitely don't do it because it's easy. Because there's days I work harder than I did when I had a real job.
Yeah. Oh, I know. That's the one thing. That's my hot take, is when people say, oh, so do you have a real job? And I'm always like, I don't want to cuss you out right now. I'm sorry.
Well, I saw your post yesterday at 3:00 in the morning on your way here. Mm-hmm. See, people don't realize, they don't see that part of this.
It's a real job.
3:00, and you're not on a tour bus with somebody driving your pretty little carcass here.
No,
right?
you're
not like you were on the road.
Oh, I know. That was so spoiled. They were like, how is this? Did you enjoy it? And I'm like, heck yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, I drove around. I had my own room. I didn't have to share a house with stinky band boys.
Yeah.
They just plug in my guitar and give me my perfect monitor mix.
You just primp and
piece of cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of got to get used to the big cameras being there.
Sure.
But other than that, piece of cake.
So you wouldn't you do it again, knowing everything you know?
Absolutely do it again.
Yeah.
And
So
I wouldn't change who I was or the songs I chose.
No. Well, we were proud of you.
Thank you. I know that I wasn't the best fit for Keith Urban, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I've never, and I respect him, and I admire what he does.
Yeah.
He's a heck of an entertainer, so talented at what he does. But I have never said that's who I want to be, or that's who I want to go on tour with, just because I know that I would be much better suited for. I would keel over if I got to open for Ian Munsick or Cody Johnson, George Strait.
Yes.
Those are the people that I love and look up to. Turnpike. I saw Dave Stamey walking around. I played some with him. He's amazing.
Dave came up and shook my hand. I got to interview him. Last year in Elko. So we love Stamey. We've probably seen Stamey 8 or 10 times.
And he's so great. And so those are the people that I want to be like. Susie Bogus, I could go on, but Keith Urban is great, but it's not an insult to me that I didn't make it farther.
No, and I think most people really truly appreciate that about you, is that you are very genuine and you fit, but you didn't fit that fan base.
Yeah.
Because those people came based on Keith Urban.
They did.
And then you're performing. You're the dancing chicken, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, I know. They had to have a little bit of everything. Just like one of my favorite guys on the show was Forrest. I loved Forrest. He's kind of a John
very quirky and kind of I loved him too.
But he's not a Keith Urban opener either. So
well, and honestly, Channing was not he's not a Blake Shelton looking kind of guy either, right?
Right.
But he's had a lot of success in the songwriting world, and he's written some great hits.
Yeah.
But everybody on there had their own unique talents to lend to the show, and which makes it very unique.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're all cookie cutter, right? And I think that's what sometimes Nashville has a tendency to do. Mm-hmm. Well, Lainey Wilson, you should be and act and sound just like Lainey. And where's your bell bottoms? And you know what I mean. And I love everything about Lainey Wilson.
Absolutely.
But I love her because she's Lainey Wilson.
Yes.
I love Olivia because she's Olivia Harms.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, you couldn't have said it better. And I mean, each artist on the show was talented. They deserve to be there. And that's the other thing, is they were all genuinely good people. There was not a bad egg. There's people that you'd naturally hit it off with more than others.
Sure.
But none of them were bad eggs. I call them all dear friends now.
Yeah.
We kind of had a little family going, because you're going through this little bubble experience.
Right.
And we were all sincerely sad each time somebody left the bus.
Sure. Well, and hats off to Billie Joe. She was sick,
I know.
really sick,
Bless
and
her little heart. Ugh.
really kind of trying to muck it through on that.
Yeah.
She did pretty damn good for being as sick as
I'd
she
say
was.
so.
But no, you all did great, and I just loved it. And the minute we saw you were on there, I'm like, I know that girl. She's been on my podcast. I know that girl. She's been on my podcast. So we were sharing them and going, hey, tune in. And
you know how to pick the artists, I guess.
I guess so. We knew how to pick you and Billie Joe.
I thought maybe Taylor called you and said, hey, who should I choose?
I actually have not officially met Taylor. We were in the men's restroom together at Tanna Hill one time.
Okay. Well, I'd say it counts, huh?
No, and we have a really good. One of my really good friends was on Yellowstone. He's been and as a stuntman. So Cooper Taylor, that's Buck Taylor's son.
Oh, awesome.
And so anyway, but no, it's been a lot of fun to get to know you and follow your career.
Oh, thanks.
And so where are we going from here? You're just gonna beat up the road?
We
keep
doing
runners?
it. Yeah, there ain't no quitting us. We just keep going. So
you said you are going to be up in Idaho April, May, sometime?
May and June. Yeah,
May and June.
Things are starting to pick up again for my schedule. March is looking busy. I'm headed to Nashville. I'm going to record some new music. There's a couple new ones. So next time I'm on, I'll have new music for you.
Okay.
And then, I'm going to the Santa Clarita Cowboy Gathering. That's with Dave Stamey. That's going to be fun. And then a big Montana, Idaho, Wyoming tour in May and June. And then I think I get to go to Norway with my mom in July and play a festival.
Norway'd be a good place to be in July.
I know. I'm
probably
excited.
Nice and cool in Norway.
It'll be a little cooler than here, hopefully.
So, fun. Well, Olivia, thanks for taking time to join us again.
My
it's
pleasure.
Always great. We look forward to following, and we look forward to your visit in Idaho. And once again, that offer is 100%. It's no questions asked.
Be careful what you wish for.
No, and we even have a couple of groceries, and I'm a pretty good cook, and so is Miss Shanda. So we'll feed you and take care of you.
Deal.
And maybe you can give me some guitar lessons.
I think that's a heck of a deal.
All right. Well, hey, listen, thank you again so much.
Thanks for having me.
You got any other songs in the bag for me today? Since you're still holding that thing.
I can do another one.
Awesome.
Let's see. How about a new one? Huh?
Okay.
I'll tempt you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this one...
set it up.
We'll set it up for you. I was driving through West Texas in November, and if anybody has ever driven through, which I'm sure you have, West Texas, there ain't nothing to look at. So you set the cruise, and you're just kind of rolling on, and you kind of let your mind wander. And I was getting closer and closer to El Paso, which always puts me in kind of a Marty Robbins mood.
There you go.
And so I was thinking, oh gosh, I love Ghost Riders in the Sky. What a classic song that is. I know tons of people have done it, but I love Marty's version. And anyway, I started thinking, well, what would be the female perspective on this song? Like, what if she was dating one of them, and maybe he goes to the 4-6s, and she hates it out there, and then before you know it, you've got this whole story cooked up, and I figured I better write a song about it. So
perfect. Let's hear it.
Here you go. Out in the West Texas range at night, might have heard a story about ghost riders in the sky, just to tell the cowboys tell when the sun goes down. I swear I still hear him riding round. Thought I had a love I promised in my heart. Dragged me out to Guthrie, said that's where we'd make her start. It was nothing like the life he promised together. I left him alone out there, now he'll haunt me forever. Ooh, I can hear him cry. Ooh, he's riding in the sky. Now we have Fiddle Man. You just imagine the fiddle, maybe?
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah. I moved back to Fort Worth, but he wouldn't come with me. Damned old cowboy life just wouldn't set him free. Gave his heart and soul to a ranch he'll never own him. Heard he died a broken heart and lies beneath a stone. Ooh, I can hear him cry. Ooh, he's riding in the sky. Visits me in dreams as I reach out for his hand. He rides off on a red-eyed roan, still riding for the brand. Ooh, I can hear him cry. Ooh, he's riding in the sky. He's still riding in the sky. He's still riding in the sky.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. What a cool song.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
Thank
I love
you.
that. Looking forward.
Well,
Going to be on the
out
next
soon.
album?
Oh, you bet. You bet.
Are you going to release it as a single EP?
I haven't decided yet, but
Okay.
I'm going to go record it in March, so I'll keep you posted.
Oh, man. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, for musical. Oh, yeah. Where are they finding all your music?
Oh, yeah. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you like to follow people. I'm there. Just
You're
Olivia
there.
Harms.
Olivia Harms.
Absolutely. Wherever you
Okay.
like to. And yeah, man, I'm tempted to take this thing with me.
Well,
It's,
you might have to wrestle me.
yeah. Very good. Thank you for having
Well,
me.
next time you drive through southern Utah or central Utah, Provo.
I'm going to go have to check out close.
Yeah.
Like, this is great.
Yeah, I will let them know.
Yeah.
They might be reaching out to you. All right. Hey, for Musical Miles Podcast, I'm your host, Byron Duffin, here with this beautiful young lady, Olivia Harms. We'll see y'all somewhere down the road. Adios for now.